then I would say this was the biggest strategy for me that I feel like not many people do, and I think that if you're somebody like me who graduated from a college, from a university in the U.S., this is something that I think everybody should be doing. And yo, what up, guys? Today, just as you see by the title, I'm gonna be talking about how I got my first job out of college as a full-time software engineer in this market. As you guys know, probably this market is absolutely cooked. I know a lot of you guys are still probably trying to apply to jobs, trying to find a job, trying to find a full-time job, and you could be struggling like I did, especially with this market right now. So I guess I'm going to be talking about a little bit about the process of how I got my first job, some advice that I might have for people that are in a spot that I was a few months ago. So I guess I'll start off a little bit about my background, where I went to school, etc. So I graduated from RPI, which is Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, from upstate New York. So there I studied computer science with a minor or focus in AI and data. And then my extracurricular, I was a part of the baseball team there. So they were an NCAA Division III school. So I played Division III baseball there, and then also studied computer science. I had around a 3.56 GPA. I was a data structures tutor. And then, that was basically it. I didn't have much extracurriculars or clubs, obviously because baseball took up a lot of my time. So next, I guess I'll talk about internships, what I did in the summers during school. So freshman year, I interned at a company called Sportsbox AI. They were a startup company, a smaller startup company in Seattle. And they were like a startup golf AI company. So even though it wasn't like a big, huge company like an Apple or Google or whatever, I think I learned a lot more interning at a smaller startup, because you obviously have a lot more responsibility when you're interning at a smaller startup as compared to like a bigger company, I guess, where you're just doing like one project. So I definitely recommend if you're in the younger years of your college, like freshman, sophomore year, it's obviously going to be hard anyways to get a bigger internship at a bigger company. So I would definitely advise trying to reach out to startups and seeing if you can get any internships that way, because I feel like that's the best way to grow. It's a great way to build a network, and honestly, startups are a lot more fun in my opinion than bigger companies. But yeah, sophomore year, I actually didn't have like a paid internship. I did an unpaid internship because I really wasn't able to find any internships. The market of sophomore year again was like cooked. So I interned at a company called CareCam AI. It's another smaller startup in Seattle, and I actually worked unpaid for them, even because I just wanted to add some experience to my resume, obviously. So I was fine, like not working without pay or whatever. And I definitely, as a last resort for you guys, I would definitely recommend that experience is better than just sitting and doing nothing. Or if you can't find an internship, do some type of project or do something cool that you think that you're interested in that can build up your skills as a software engineer. You can put on your GitHub, etc. But I would probably put like an unpaid internship above a project depending on what the project is. But just for learning purposes and things like that. So junior year, I did an internship at like a medium-sized company called Business Solver. They were like a insurance like company. They provided like benefits, and they had a platform for benefits for other companies. So this was kind of my first time not working for like a startup environment. It was more of like a corporate role as a software engineer. So this one was kind of like working on tickets on like smaller parts of the code base and a much larger code base as well. So I think that this allowed me to have some variety in my resume, where it was like I had the startup experience and then now I have like that corporate experience, even though it wasn't like a FANG or whatever. But for me, my goal was never to work at a FANG company, to be honest, because I just didn't feel like that would be interesting to me. And obviously I never got the chance to, because I did apply to them. I just never got any interviews from those companies. But yeah, so that was my third internship, or second technically paid internship. And then I think every summer, if you can, like, you should be applying to internships throughout the school year. I know it's pretty hard to do with school and everything, but I feel like I had a pretty busy schedule and I found a way to do it. So I think that most people should be able to find some time. I feel like there's a lot more free time in college as well, for you guys to do that. So now getting to senior year. Senior year is probably one of the most stressful things ever, because when you don't have a return offer your senior year and you're applying to jobs full-time roles, it's pretty stressful to not know what your future is going to look like, obviously. So the place I interned at junior year, obviously with the market and everything, they didn't have any headcount to offer me a guaranteed role. They obviously said that maybe in the future something would open up, but I'd have to interview again. So senior year, I was basically applying to jobs throughout the entire school year. And honestly, I probably got less than 4 interviews. I probably had like 2 or 3 interviews, and none of those panned out. I had one interview that, yeah, I had 2 or 3 interviews, but all of those didn't pan out. So I ended my senior year, finished up my baseball season, did my graduation and everything, and obviously didn't have a job. So came back home, and I would say I think a good 3 months was the whole process. 3 to 4 months was the whole process of me trying to get a job, basically doing a 9 to 5 of applying to jobs and trying to get a job. So here I guess we can move into the job application process. So obviously you can do a bunch of spam online job applications. I used like 4 or 5 different job application websites, from like LinkedIn to Glassdoor. Simplify was a really good one. If you guys have never heard of that, it's a great one to kind of gives you like 10 companies to apply to that you can just go through every single day. And it's kind of nice because it's refreshing because it has like tailored recommendations for jobs that match your experience. And you can kind of just go through those 10 every single morning. That's kind of how I would start my days. So I would basically wake up at 8 a.m. every single day. I didn't even have a weekend because I had no job. So it was like every weekend was a weekday for me, and a grind for applying to jobs. So I'd wake up around 8, take my dog on a walk just to get some air in the morning, do my Simplify, knock those 10 applications out, or 8 or 10, however they give me. Then go to LinkedIn, go look through job applications on there. Then there was actually an Airtable application, Airtable company list of company applications that come out like by the minute, and I'm talking like by the minute. Like it's updated every single every few minutes. So it's like applications that are most recently posted by companies, and I think that that's a really big thing, is finding those postings that are posted an hour ago, 4 hours ago, 2 hours ago, because you want to be at the top of that pile, right? You want to be the first one to be reviewed before they pick somebody and choose it, because it's obviously all on a rolling basis. So I would go through that. Let me know if you guys want me to try to find that link and put it in the comment section. I think I can find it if I need to. Then I would go scroll through LinkedIn, and I would search for posts of people hiring. So I know on LinkedIn you can search like hiring, like search the string hiring, like in the search bar. So I would do that, look if there's any people posting about hiring software engineers there. Then I would say this was the biggest strategy for me that I feel like not many people do, and I think that if you're somebody like me who graduated from a college, from a university in the U.S., this is something that I think everybody should be doing, and that is going to the LinkedIn alumni page for your school. And first, actually, what I'd say is the best investment you can probably make if you're going to pay for anything related to the job search is LinkedIn Premium. I think that's the best investment you can make. It's pretty steep, but I think it's worth it in the long run if you're really going to be attending the strategy that I'm about to say. You can send unlimited messages, unlimited connections, everything, and I think it's really worth it. So this strategy is basically on LinkedIn. You can search through your alumni of your school on LinkedIn and see members that graduated from your school, right? So I would go on to like Google, I would search up RPI LinkedIn alumni search, and then that would take me to that link. I would just click the top link, and that would take me into LinkedIn to the specific page that I'm trying to find, because it's pretty hard to find the alumni page for your school just like within LinkedIn for some reason. So it's kind of like a hack a little bit. So I'd go there. Then I would go to the search. You could search through the alumni, and I would search by the role software engineering manager, software engineering director, principal software engineer, something like somebody in a lead role that could be hiring, right? Then from there, I would scroll through every single one. And I'm talking every single one. And I would send a connection to every single one. And now I think the best way to go about this is you send the connection, and if they connect back, then you should message them. Because I think like it's a little bit waste of your time to message people that don't connect back, because they're, one, probably not going to see it. 2, they don't care enough to even connect back. Why would they respond to your message? So that's why I think LinkedIn Premium is great, because you can send unlimited connections. So I would literally do this every single day, and I'm talking every day. Wake up at 8 a.m., do it as long as I can, and then take a break after. But I think this is a great strategy to find meaningful connections, because alumni are the most likely to respond to you on LinkedIn, to be honest. Like when you're sending a cold message, I think if you are an alumni of a school, you're so much more likely to respond to somebody because there's that connection. Especially for me, my school is pretty small, so it's pretty rare to find alumni in high up roles. So I was doing this like every single day, the same process. And then Like that was just basically what I was doing just for finding jobs and applying to jobs or making connections and sending messages. And I would always send like a quick intro message. I would never send like something super long, just to say like, hey, thank you for connecting. I would love to talk about how you got into the position you're in. I see that we graduated from the same school, et cetera, something like that. Something pretty brief and quick, just to like not come off too strong, and just trying to get a quick connection, a quick call, something like that. That could lead into like a deeper talk, obviously. Now at this point, I had been doing this for probably a good month, and nothing was really panning out. Like I would get messages back here and there. I had gone through an interview process for a company and made it to the final round, and then did not end up getting that role, which was pretty depressing. I'm not gonna lie. That it was like a 3-month process long too. Really thought I was gonna get it. Thought I did good in the final round. Did not get that job. So it's pretty hard to just pick back up applying to jobs. So I kind of stopped for a little bit while I was doing the interviews for that. So that kind of delayed me a little bit. But then got back into the role of things, started doing everything again. And I was just, at this point, I was just applying to any software engineer role that I could find. Because obviously my experience was kind of broad, so there wasn't really a specific field that I wanted to go into or that I wanted to apply to. So at this point I was like, okay, what do I need to do here? It's been like a month and a half. Nothing's happened. Can't get any interviews, can't get any connections. So at this point I was like trying to lean on things that I guess made me different as a software engineer, and that was for me personally being a student athlete and being a baseball player. So I was trying to think of what are ways that I could intersect, my knowledge of baseball and my knowledge of software engineering. And obviously a lot of you guys might not be baseball players or student athletes, but there's definitely always going to be one thing that you are really good at that might not be other than software engineering. Like there might be a passion you have other than software engineering that you could intersect with, software engineering in general. I really recommend that you guys find that niche that you could intersect with software engineering, unless you really are like that top 1% of elite coders, of people with ridiculously cool projects or something like that. Like if you're just all in on software engineering, like that wasn't me, then you won't have to have that problem with that niche. You could probably land a job at a FANG company if that's your goal. And yeah, at that point it's just like studying elite code, studying the interview process, things like that. But for those of you that are kind of like me and it's like you just did software engineering and your experience is kind of broad, you definitely just want to find that niche that you could kind of fit into and set yourself apart. So from here, like going through my same process of going through LinkedIn, finding alumni, I found an alumni that actually went to my school, and he had been hired by the Miami Marlins to be a director or VP of baseball systems. And obviously this was like a dream job for me. It was like computer science for an MLB team, like software engineering for an MLB team. He was nice enough to connect back and reply to my message. And I asked him to show him the project I was working on. And I think this is a really good way to set yourself apart from people that are just cold DMing people on LinkedIn. And that's to ask them to show a project that you've been working on that can be interesting to what that they could relate to. Something that's like let's say you want to message somebody that works for DoorDash. Like you messaging them and showing them a app, something along the lines of what you want to do for DoorDash. That's something that could be really smart, right? So I think that building a project that relates to the person you're messaging is really helpful. And obviously I'd already connected to this person, so it's like when they connect back, you have a much better chance of getting a response, right? So yeah, so I messaged him, set up a time for a call, and then from there that whole application process started, of talking to him, talking to the next manager, doing a technical interview, things like that. And I was able to land that job, which was, it's obviously a dream job for me. I have a video of a day in the life working for this MLB team, if you guys want to check that out. Yeah, another thing that I would say is that when you're kind of in the space that I was, or the spot that I was, it's that you can't really be picky in what you want. You should just take whatever you can get. I think that a big part of this is just getting your foot in the door. And then from there, you're obviously going to gain a lot of experience. You're going to gain that full-time experience, which really sets you apart, and you're going to make a lot of connections, which I think is the biggest part, right? So I think that not being too picky about the location, the pay, the certain semantic things that are not going to really matter in the long run. It's just getting that first job. I think that's the biggest step, is just getting that first job, and that's going to set you apart from all these people that are obviously trying to get that first job. And I think just not being picky is going to allow you to throw a net at such a larger group of fish, and that you have a much higher chance of catching something, right? So I would definitely recommend to be very open-minded, to try everything. Don't be scared to do anything. Don't be scared to send a message. And yeah, just really put yourself out there and be consistent and work hard at what you're doing, and eventually that opportunity is going to show up, and you will succeed. And I think that a big thing is also going to be that you are going to fail. There's going to be interviews where you make it to the final round, you don't get it. You're going to have to pick yourself up and go back at it again, right? Like, that's just life. Yeah, like the job application process is rough. I know a lot of you guys are going through it, whether you're new grads, whether you're looking for internships. Like, I have friends that are still looking for jobs. Like, it's a rough process out there, and I think that if you just stick to your process and continue to work hard, that something will pop up for you, and you will get that role and get that opportunity. So let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments, and I will try my best to answer everything I can. Please let me know in the comments if you guys have any success with the strategy that I'm saying. And I would love to know about success stories of people that do get jobs. Like, please come back to this video and post a comment about your story and what job you did end up getting and how you got it. I'm sure that would help a lot of other people out. And yeah, I'm really just trying to build a community where we can all improve and grow together. And then here and there, I like to sprinkle in some fun vlogs that are just going to be pretty random. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching and following along my journey of how I ended up getting a software engineer role in this terrible 2025 market. Yeah, it's obviously a dream job for me. I couldn't be any more grateful for this opportunity that I was given. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please drop comments below. Thumbs the video up, subscribe. And yeah, peace.